I know I said we had a stacked lineup in the Serie A last week, but it's even more stacked this weekend, and we get a Bavaria battle in the Bundesliga.
The two hottest teams in La Liga go toe-to-toe, and Nottingham Forest look to prove that they are the real deal in the Premier League. All of this and more on this episode 56 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. Snooze, kick us off.
Let's dig in. Yeah, love to hear it. And we are back. Welcome to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze. I'm here with the full fam. We got Brainiac J-Fam. He's actually on the ones and twos today. Danny P is hooking us up with some shorts at the moment, producing, doing his thing. But nobody cares about that. You know what they care about? Our main man, hype man, Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
What's going on? I'll tell you what I'm sipping on today. I felt bad because I haven't done an actual mixed drink in a while. So what I'm drinking is a black gold. And this is a Lagavulin 16-year mix with some coffee liqueur and then some orange bitters on it. It's actually pretty good. But it's been here for a little bit, so now it's just getting a little watered down, so I'm going to probably drink this quick. And, it's a special episode because once I drink that quick, I'm going to be drinking some Mijenta, my favorite sipping tequila, to kind of just go the other way of a 16-year peated scotch. We'll go to a Mijenta tequila, Blanco tequila. That's what I'm excited for today.
Well, you know what? You don't know this yet because I didn't tell you, but it's apropos that you're drinking a drink that is black and gold because we have some black and gold to talk about this. I'll leave that little teaser right there. Just know that. Okay. But this episode is the look ahead episode where we take a look at the four leagues we always cover: Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, and the Prem. But we actually have a midweek match day. What did I say? Midweek madness to talk about as well in the Prem. We'll get to that whenever we get to the Prem section of this podcast. Okay. Vic, anything else we need to say before we jump this thing off?
Let's go ahead and like and subscribe while we're here, right? That's everybody's favorite thing to do. So go ahead and lick the like button. Don't lick the like button.
It's even better. It's even better.
Hit the like button and subscribe. It's the best way to help promote us or help us out on our channel. We do appreciate it. But I will stop talking. Let's go ahead and get kicked it off.
We're at 36. We're at 36 right now. We need like 50, 100. We need to get more up there. So just 50 lick the button below. All right, let's do this. Let's jump right into it. Let's go to Italy.
Let's do it. To Serie A. Yes, sir.
Before we get into the matches, Vic, tell us what the table after match day 30 in Serie A looks like.
Yes. It looks pretty familiar up top. We have Inter Milan still taking on the number one spot. They have 67 points. Napoli are 3 points behind them, just one win behind them with 64 points in the number 2 spot. Atalanta now 6 points behind them in the number 3 spot, and they've lost their last 2 matches. Those are the 6 points. Otherwise, we have a much tighter race in the top 3. 2 points behind them is Bologna. They're on a 5-game win streak. They have 56 points, and they are hot right now. They round out our top 4. In the number 5 spot, or tickling the top 4, as we say, is Juventus. They have 1 point. They are 1 point behind Bologna. They have 55 points. And man, we were just talking about them being a dark horse, and then they lost 2 immediately. That was pretty bad for a little bit there. So that's on us, Juventus fans. Sorry, Christian.
And the new head coach, a new manager, everything. We screwed them.
That's our bad. Sorry. But yeah. Nowhere near the top or tickling the top is Empoli. They're in the 18th spot. If we take a look at the bottom of the table, they would be the first team relegated if the season ended today. They have 23 points coming off a draw this past week. Venezia are in the 19th spot. They keep their badge on there and their relegation status as well. As we say, they have 20 points. And then Monza, poor Monza, still holding up the table with 15 points, doing their best to stay in the bottom of the table with their loss this past weekend. And not looking very good for them. Anything you want to call on the table, Snooze, or are we about ready to take a look at the games ahead?
I think we can jump to the games because they kind of all tie in with the table and everything. So let's just jump right into it. What I will say before we jump into this is if you just look, before I start talking about the matches, if you just look at what matches we have, Vic, I'm freaking excited. This might be my favorite match day of the year so far for Serie A. I mean, we have a bunch of 6-pointers as far as teams that are playing each other that might be relegated, trying to get out of that relegation zone. We have 4 matchups in the top 10, teams battling for Champions League places. It's just going to be awesome. And so that's the only thing. It ties in with the table. And now let's jump into some details about every single one of these matches here. And we start with the first game on Friday. It's a mid-table matchup when Genoa get Udinese at home. Both teams will look to get back on track after losing last time out. Then on Saturday, Como go on the road to take on cellar dwellers Monza. This match should be maybe the end of Como's 4-game winless streak. Probably so. And Parma are just about out of the relegation zone, and they welcome table toppers Inter to town. Parma have only lost once in the last 5 matches and go in off the back of 3 straight draws. But Inter have won 3 straight and look really good right now, and they're still in the Champions League. They can win a lot of things right now. Our Fiorentina travel to San Siro to take on Milan. The Viola have won back-to-back matches coming in, while Milan lost to Napoli last time out. This one should be good, folks. I'm excited for it. Can't wait. On Sunday, we get a true 6-pointer when Lecce, the Milkmen, and Venezia play. Venezia's 4-game draw streak finally ended last time out thanks to Bologna, but Lecce have lost 5 straight in Serie A and are just not looking good at the moment. And it's a great chance for Venezia to get all 3 points here. We'll find out what happens. These teams usually, it's not the most fun matches, but there's a lot of drama in them. The team they're trying to chase down is Empoli, and they get Cagliari at home. Cagliari are only 6 points ahead of Empoli in 15th, and Empoli could really cause some chaos at the bottom end of the table if they were able to get 3 points in that match. Torino take on Verona, and Verona are just a point above Cagliari in 14th, and they won't be wanting to see that gap slip any more than it already has. Torino are safe at this point, and not sure that they'll be easing off the pedal yet, but Verona can't be sure of that. It's kind of getting to that point of the season where if you're mid-table and you've passed like 38, 40 points, what do you really have to play for? Atalanta welcome our Lazio to Bergamo, and it's 3 taking on 7 in the table, and both teams come in on a bit of a slump. Atalanta losing back-to-back, and Lazio having only won once in their last 5. Let's get it together, boys. The surging Roma get Juve in Rome, and they come into this match on a 7-game winning streak. And not only that, but Juve are 5th, and Roma are 6th, as we just saw from Vic, we talked about on the table, and they're only 3 points behind them. So really what it comes down to in this match is, can Juve make it 2 wins in a row, or will Roma catch them in the table? This one is probably, I don't want to say the most exciting because they're all exciting, but this one is going to be really fun. And then the game we get on Monday, the final match of Matchday 31, is 2nd versus 4th when Bologna get Napoli at home. And Bologna are the hottest team in Italy outside of Roma, and they can make a statement with a home win over Napoli. Napoli are still 3 points behind Inter, so they need this to stay in the Scudetto race, and both teams are going to be going at it. I can't wait for it, Vic. And usually we have one match to talk about, one match to dig into, Vic, but there's just so many storylines in the Serie A this weekend. Like I was saying, it's probably my favorite match day of the year so far for Serie A. One of the things I will talk about, though, is just how important that the table, how important this match day is to the table. Like, we're looking at all the teams that are at the bottom and at the top playing each other. Usually it's like, you have most of the bottom playing most of the top, mid-table, right? They're kind of mixed in. But this is a weird match day where it's like all the teams that need to play each other for like the people that are right around them, they are playing each other. So it's a crucial match day. And really, I just can't wait to see how the table shakes out of this one. I think the one that I'll be probably locked in on the most are the 2 final matches, Roma and Juventus, and Bologna and Napoli. Obviously, I'm going to be checking out our boys Lazio and Fiorentina. But, if I had to call out 2, those 2 are the juiciest to me anyway, Dick. What about you?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm going to go the exact opposite, though. I'm waiting for Lecce and Venezia, and then Empoli and Cagliari. I want to see who's getting relegated. They're fighting down there, man. They're fighting for placement here in Serie A. So those are going to be interesting to me. You look at the top, they've been shuffling back and forth, and this week is going to shuffle them some more. Probably top 3, 4, 5, 6 might all, maybe 7 might all change by the end of the week.
I know exactly.
It's just crazy.
That's a weird way to put that, but what I mean.
Yeah, but they're still up there. You know what I mean? They still have some time to stay up there, and there's a little bit of a gap, I guess, between the very bottom 2 of the table, but these relegations, those like they'll be gone next month.
Yeah,
I mean next year. You know what I mean? That's why I'll be watching those. I think that's
very true. And you're right, because if I don't know the schedules for them, but Venezia and Lecce, they're playing each other. So like next week they could be playing Atalanta or Fiorentina, whatever, right? Some team that they're probably not going to get points from. So
Yeah,
that's why we call these things 6-pointers. That's why they're so exciting. Okay,
Agreed.
yeah, there's a lot to watch this weekend in Serie A. But we could talk about it all day, but we don't have all day here. So without further ado, I don't know why I never say that, but I guess so. I think we should move it right along to Spain, Vic.
Let's do it. To La Liga.
Take it away, sir.
Oh, that reminds me, I don't know why, but every time at the end of that little jingle, it reminds me of Christina Aguilera's Genie in a Bottle. I don't know why.
That guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah,
we're not here to talk about that. We'll talk about the
hear
table.
it every time now. Every single time it happens now.
You cannot unhear it now. So yeah. Let's take a look at the table though. We not much to talk about on top. Everybody knows Barcelona is still our number one. Excuse me, and they've been looking absolutely amazing lately. They have 66 points in their number one spot, followed by Real Madrid, who are just 1 win behind them, 3 points behind them. They have 63 points. Atletico Madrid, a little bit further gap. They have 6 points behind. They are 6 points behind Real Madrid. Jesus, can't talk right now with 57 points. And then Athletic Club have 53 points, just 4 points behind Atletico Madrid, rounding out our top 4. And if tickling the top 4 is Villarreal, they're a clear 6 points beneath Athletic Club. As well, they have 47 points, and then Real Betis still have 47 points and still on their winning streak in the number 6 spot, fighting for their Europa League spots. And yeah, they're still looking good, still doing the thing, and can't wait to watch them this weekend. I can wait to watch Leganés, who are in the 18th spot. They have 27 points and would be the first team relegated if the season ended today. Las Palmas are right behind them in the 19th spot with 26 points. And then holy guacamole, my Voli Dolies, Real Valladolid have 16 measly points, 10 points clear of the number 19 team, Las Palmas. And Voli Dolies are still doing their best to stay at the bottom there with 3 straight losses, only 1 point in the last 6 games. And yeah, not looking good. I'll still rock your cup that I bought that has your logo on it, but we'll
in the second division.
In the second division, yeah. Now I have to explain that. Yeah, there's a second division team. So, yeah. Anything you want to call out on this table before we take a look at the week ahead? Snooze?
No, nothing there.
All right. Well, then let's take a look at the week ahead because I think we have not as juicy as Serie A, but we got some pretty good matchups.
We got some juicy ones, It's like the whole plate isn't juicy, but there are some very good dishes. Like it's a buffet, you know what I mean? Like there's some very, very good pieces of the buffet that you got on this plate here. And it all starts off on Friday. Rayo take on Espanyol, and Rayo have achieved safety, and they're essentially not qualifying for Europe unless the places get pushed down to 7th or 8th spots, which that could happen. But Espanyol are only 2 points from Leganés in 18th and absolutely need 3 points here. So these teams, they both are trying to go for it. On Saturday, Alaves are in a similar position to Espanyol, and they go on the road to Girona, except Alaves are level on points with Leganés, but only above them in the table due to goal differential, which is, and they got some tight cheeks over there in Espanyol. Sorry, in Alaves. What am I saying here? But anyway, Girona haven't had a win in the last 5 matches and will be trying to get back on track. Real Madrid have now won 3 straight in La Liga, and they get Valencia at the Bernabeu. Valencia have been great. They've been really good lately, and they've been 4 points clear of the relegation zone at the moment. But it just sucks that they get Real Madrid coming up next because I don't really see them getting a point from this one. Mallorca and Celta go head-to-head to essentially figure out who's going to finish mid-table and who's going to keep the European dream alive. And then it's the main match of the weekend. The 2 most informed teams in La Liga go at it when Real Betis go on the road to take on Barcelona. And we'll talk about this one more in just a moment. And we are excited about this one at the No Business Soccer Podcast. Sorry, my baby's moving in her little crib. On Sunday, Real Sociedad get relegation threatened Las Palmas. And La Real almost certainly won't be getting into Europe this season at this point anyway. So they're just playing out the season. But Las Palmas are only a point from safety and have a real chance of surviving with a couple of results. And side note, they're coming to San Antonio, which is only like an hour away from where we are here in Austin. So, yeah, we want them to be in La Liga still whenever we go see them. Yeah, hopefully they're still, Okay, moving on. Sevilla get Atletico Madrid, and both teams are needing to bounce back after losses last weekend. But in all honesty, Atletico aren't winning the league, and Sevilla aren't getting into Europe soon. So I'm not sure how much they're really pushing to make this thing go. But either way, 2 fun teams. Getafe couldn't get it done last weekend against Villarreal, but I bet they can this weekend when they get Valladolid. It's a massive match for the Champions League places in La Liga when Villarreal get Athletic Club at home, and it's 4th versus 5th. And if Villarreal can get 3 points here, they would only be 3 points back with 8 matches left. And that is a big, big match. Or that's a recipe. Damn, I messed the whole thing up. I would say, and that is a recipe for a big, big match here. Oh, well. Monday, 2 struggling teams try to get some kind of momentum when Leganes get Osasuna at home. Leganes are getting an Osasuna team that haven't won in 5 matches, so this is a big opportunity to take points where they probably weren't expecting at the beginning of the season. And now Leganes have lost 4 of 5 in 3 straight, so it's not like they're poised to bounce back either. I don't know why this is the main match on Monday, but teams have something to fight for. Okay, now let's jump into the match that we're all watching in Spain this weekend. Let's be honest. We're probably all watching it regardless of what the hell's on the TV. It is Barcelona. It is Real Betis. And usually you don't talk about this game like we are with this kind of energy, but it just happens that this match is coming at the perfect time, Vic. Like this is crazy. Both of these teams, they're on incredible win streaks. Both of these teams are in prime form. They're healthy. Their fitness is great, and they're scoring goals for fun. Barcelona need to win to keep the 3-point gap between them and Real Madrid. And Villarreal are playing Athletic Club, like we just said. And so Betis could be inching closer to a Champions League finish with 3 points here. Now, for a regular match day that's in, there's 38 matches. For a regular match day, you really couldn't script this any better. And I'm freaking excited. Think about the players on both sides. You get Robert Lewandowski, you get Yamal on one side, you get Isco on the other, and freaking Anthony, who's tearing it up, is on the other side. It's just, we could talk about stats and all kinds of stuff. And honestly, who cares about them right now? It's like, let's just sit back and let's enjoy this match, because who would have thought at this point in the season, these teams would be right here talking like this hype about a game. And I just have to say, though, we always call like the matches that we're calling out that we're going to be watching. We talk about like who we would choose or where we lay our money. And unfortunately, if I'm laying money, I'm laying it on Barca just because they're freaking ridiculous right now. But man, Betis, they're really good. If they can beat them, like that's crazy. That's crazy, Vic. I don't know. Am I insane to think that they have a chance?
Yeah, Betis have turned the whole thing around. I'm excited for this matchup. Of course, if I had to put money on it, I'm going Barcelona as well. Lamine Yamal is still just absolutely insane. But if anybody could do it right now, it's Real Betis. And I was just talking about this because we've talked about this match a few times already. And last week we were talking about just Real Betis, how they doing, how they could prove that they're real. And if they face maybe a Barcelona, and we didn't even know that they played Barcelona next week. And it just became perfect. And I was trying to talk to one of my coworkers about how this match was pretty exciting. I'm like, it's like the amount of exciting whenever you're getting a Kansas City Chiefs and a Buffalo Bills game. Like, that's going to be fireworks, right? Like,
exactly.
Like right now, this is going to be fireworks, and this is going to be good. And the winner of this game, although, Betis probably aren't going for the championship right now, but the winner of this game is just going to be absolutely on fire. Everybody is going to be going nuts for this winner. And it's the perfect time, like you said, and I am excited to go for it. But again, my money would not go on Betis, unfortunately, because of how Barcelona have been. Yeah,
and that sucks. That sucks that we can't do that, because you would think that with all of the momentum that Betis have, that they would have an upper hand in any match they played. But then you look at Barcelona, and it's just win. Like, screw your streak. We got a longer win streak. Like, we're the ones who are winning this league. So it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking Saturday, 2:00.
Try the middle of the day.
That's before our game starts. Our game being Austin FC's game.
Austin FC, yeah.
Maybe we'll have to, get some brewskis and watch the game.
Let's go somewhere.
I've only been to pubs for the Prem, so
yeah.
I don't know if there's like a La Liga bar. Is there? I don't know.
Well, I think BD Riley's, because they played it might have been the only game on, but they did play the Barcelona game right after Liverpool got done playing this past Wednesday. So.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we could ask.
Maybe we do it.
Talk to my boys. I'm there all the time, so I can talk to my boys.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. One other quick thing to call out. And this is the opposite. We're talking about amazing football right now. 2 teams that are hot. We're going all the way to the bottom. Real Valladolid. They have a negative 46 goal differential. The next 3 lowest teams, Las Palmas, Leganés, Deportivo Alaves, in the 17th, 18th, and 19th spot, have a combined negative 45. So they're doing way worse than Valladolid at negative 46. That is insane.
How many points do they have, though?
Who?
Valladolid?
They have 16 points.
Okay.
Our goals? Or are you talking about just points on the
No,
table?
just points. Okay, so
yeah, 16 points.
So would you say that Southampton with 9 points or Valladolid with 16 but have given up 46 goals is worse this year? Like if they played,
who Southampton is a negative 49.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's way okay. So they're just real bad.
Southampton is still very bad, but
right,
but enough, just compared to this league, that's how bad Valladolid's been in La Liga. So I just wanted to call that out. It looked like fun number stuff. So
that is the opposite of fun, but I get your point. Like good stuff to talk about. All right. Well, let's move right along then to Germany.
Let's do it. To Bundesliga.
Take it away, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the Bundesliga is looking very familiar. On top, of course, Bayern Munich are number one. They have 65 points, followed by Bayer Leverkusen, who have 59 points, clear 6 points behind Bayern Munich at the top. Eintracht Frankfurt have another 11 points behind them. These top three are not very close, and it's going to take a lot for them to change any kind of position, except for maybe Eintracht Frankfurt and Mainz, who are in the number 4 spot. They have 45 points. They round out our top 4. Could see some movement down there, but I'm pretty sure number 1 and 2 are a lock, unless something absolutely crazy happens with Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah. But more than likely not. Tickling our top 4, 2 points behind Mainz in the number 4 spot, is Borussia Mönchengladbach. They have 43 points on a 2-game win streak. Looking to keep climbing, they were able to leapfrog Leipzig and Freiburg, who are in the 6th and 7th spot, respectively, both with 42 points, trying to fight into those Europa League spots. And it's getting pretty interesting right there on the 4, 5, 6 parts and 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. And we'll see who gets the Champions League spots, Europa spots, but top of the table isn't much of a question. Bottom of the table is becoming less of a question because Bochum have re-entered the relegation zone. They are in the 17th spot, would be the first team eliminated if the season ended today with 20 points. Holstein Kiel are still holding up the rest of the table. They are in the 18th spot, very bottom with 17 points, doing their best to stay on the bottom with 2 straight losses. Hasn't been great for them. Snooze, anything you want to call out on the table, or are we talking about Bundesliga matches this weekend?
We can talk about the matches. I think what I will say, though, is that Heidenheim had a great time. They chose a great time to win 2 back-to-back games when the 2 teams below you just dropped. Like you get a quick 6 points. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because they were
right
last.
back in that play. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Started
from the bottom, now we're here. That's their song right now. All right, let's move on then.
Let's go.
We have some juicy ones here as well. Not as many, but we got a couple of juicy ones. And it all kicks off on Friday. It's a battle for Bavaria when Bayern go on the road to take on Augsburg. The fact that it's a derby means anything can happen, but now add in the fact, Vic, that Augsburg haven't lost in 11 straight matches in all competitions, and Bayern haven't been the indestructible team that they were earlier this season, and they've lost like half of their defensive players because of injury. So really, we could be in for a good game here. And if they lose and Leverkusen win, I'm just saying we're down to 3 points now. So, man, that's a big one on Friday night. On Saturday, Double H take on Leverkusen, and Heidenheim have won back-to-back matches and are only 3 points from St. Pauli and getting out of the playoff spot. And even so, though, Leverkusen are starting to hit their stride, and they'll be a tough team to get a point off of. But we just talked about it. Heidenheim are on a streak right now. We'll see how it goes. Freiburg get Dortmund at home, and oddly enough, Dortmund are coming in on better form as they beat the hot Mainz team last weekend, and they've won 3 of 5 at this point, while Freiburg have only won once in their last 5, and they have like a negative goal differential, and they're that high in the table. It's crazy. I don't know how they're doing it. Mainz have dropped points in back-to-back matches, but are still clinging to that 4th spot, and this week they get cellar dwellers Kiel. This should get Mainz back on track for European qualification. Leipzig host Hoffenheim in a match that both teams come in desperate for a win, having only won once in their last 5. Leipzig have interim manager Lowe in charge, and that just might be enough chaos for Hoffenheim to think that they could nick a point. Stuttgart's struggles are well documented as they're winless in their last 6 Bundesliga matches, but if they can't get 3 points from second bottom Bochum, there may be some changes coming real quick. Frankfurt look to make it 3 wins in a row when they host Werder Bremen. And Bremen have done just about enough to be safe, and they aren't climbing too much higher. They're already in 12th, so I mean, where else can they go? Meanwhile, Frankfurt, they're no locks for the Champions League, so they can't let up off the gas here. And on Sunday, St. Pauli and Gladbach go head to head, and just as bad as St. Pauli are needing a win to keep Double H at bay, Gladbach are trying to catch Mainz in 4th place and are only 2 points back. 3 points either way is extremely big deal here. Mid-table Wolfsburg go to Berlin to take on Union, and Wolfsburg come in off back-to-back losses, and Union have won 2 of their last 3, and they're kind of hitting a little bit of form at the moment after that horrible, horrible run they were on a few months back. And we'll see if this translates to points, though. I don't know. Soccer's a weird game. Okay, now in this one, I don't want to say that there's any games that we're going to call out specifically, but Vic, like I was talking about earlier, there's a whole lot of movement, or like you were talking about earlier, there's a whole lot of movement that could happen in those top places. The cool thing about this weekend, though, is like Mainz have a pretty easy way to get 3 points. And then, Leipzig, Hoffenheim's a good team, but Leipzig, they can get a point at least. I don't see them dropping all 3. And so I think that the top of the table is going to be shifting a lot because they're all probably going to be getting points. The really big thing is if that first match on Friday, the battle for Bavaria, as I was calling it, if Bayern, because of just the injuries and where they are right now, drop points to Augsburg and let Leverkusen back into the title race. I mean, there was 9 points like a couple weeks ago, and we said it was done. And now, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but they could be 3 at the end of this week. That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, again, the top 2 are kind of set, but I mean, as far as like finishing, but yeah, there's going to be so much movement coming up. It's going to be hard to keep track. And what I'm really looking for are these bottom teams who want to be dark horses, who want to come over and just sneak a win and just knock somebody off their either Champions League spot, off their Europa League spot. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking at Holstein-Kiel, who's gonna play. I already forgot, but I think it was Mainz, or was it?
Kiel playing Mainz, yeah,
Mainz. I'm looking for something like that. Who's going to be the dark horse and knock somebody off?
Yeah, like St. Pauli versus Gladbach, who are on the streak.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what's going to happen there, because that's going to be interesting to me. And it's getting fun. It's getting really fun.
Yeah, you can't. These teams that think they're like, we're here at the top of the table. No need to worry about these bottom teams, and then they get punched in the mouth, and they're like, oh wait, we just dropped points, and now other teams are catching us. So.
Yep.
I mean, it could happen, and we will see if it happens. St. Pauli are a weird one. I think if I was calling out a team that might lose when they shouldn't, it would have to be St. Pauli getting a point from Gladbach, just because the way St. Pauli played. Not that I think they're better or whatever, but I don't know. They surprised me this season. I didn't think that they would have as much fight in them as they had, and they need to stay relevant. They need to stay above that relegation line. So
yeah.
But Gladbach, I want to see them in the Champions League. I just don't want to see Leipzig in there anymore. Like, give us someone else, man.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Let's get some variety going on here.
Okay. Well, Vic, we have one more league to go to, but we have 2 sections to talk about. So let's hurry up and get there. Let's go to England.
To the Prem. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Before we jump into the look ahead for the weekend, we had a midday madness going on for the Prem because of all the FA Cup weekends we just had. So with that said, let's jump right into the, I don't know where my notes are. Oh, no. Oh, well.
Matchday 8:30 results.
Yeah. We're just going to talk about them because I can't find what I had written down for them. But either way, the matches that I wanted to call out specifically, with the fact that Nottingham Forest were able to get it done against Manchester United. That is insane because, as you'll see when we talk about the look ahead, Nottingham Forest are in perfect position. And this was a game that could be something that they slip up on because, Forest, team that shouldn't be where they are, but they are. And I say shouldn't as in like nobody had them there at the beginning of the season. But now they could have dropped points here easily and nobody would have batted an eye. It's Manchester United. It is what it is. But they didn't. They got the win, and it was thanks to Anthony Elanga, who actually was someone that Manchester United sold to Forest, and the Nottingham Forest fans were singing, "He left you because you're shit." So,
I didn't see that video. Yeah,
when that happens, it's not a good sign. That was crazy. Another thing I wanted to call out, Vic, was that Southampton and Crystal Palace drew. Crystal Palace have been a team that I've been talking about all season. They're just kind of like, they're mid-table, but they're just good. They're hard to beat. And I don't understand how they draw 1-1 with Southampton. And then, of course, you see Bournemouth, who were just on a tear. They were close to getting into those European places, and now they're on a losing streak from hell, and they just lost to Ipswich 2-1. But the real, I guess the real, there's a lot of matches to talk about. The one that stood out to me, of course, we had the Merseyside derby, and we had Spurs losing. Who cares about those? The main one was Aston Villa beating Brighton 3-0. Brighton were one of the hottest teams in the league, and they just put it to them. I mean, it was insane how Aston Villa decided that they were just going to turn it on, and they struggled domestically too. This isn't like it's been cooking and they've been really, really good. They haven't been. They've been great overall on the season because they're still running in the Champions League and blah, blah, blah. But as far as domestically, they dropped a lot of points. I mean, they were mid-table, a little bit below not too long ago, and now they're right there, as you would say, tickling the top places to get into Europe again. But I guess if you're Aston Villa, you don't care about that. You're like, bro, we're going to win the Champions League. So why are you worried about where we are in the table? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that because I like Nottingham Forest, their whole story, and the fact they get a win. And I always like when Manchester United lose. I think a lot of people do.
Of course.
It's pretty great. I know Southampton and that Crystal Palace draw that they had. Crystal Palace reminds me of, for all the UFC watchers out there, Stefan Struve, the 7 foot or whatever heavyweight. Like, he's the gatekeeper. Like, you know, if you want to be serious about like being good at fighting, or you want to be serious about being good at football, you beat Stefan Struve or you beat Crystal Palace. Like that's how they've been this kind of year. And I think Southampton,
but they can still slip up against some of the worst teams.
Yes, but absolutely, yeah, exactly. And but I'm sure Southampton's okay with that because we actually will see in a minute when we go to the table gave Southampton.
I didn't even think about it.
They got the double digits, no longer in the single digits for points. Crazy.
Finally, was this match day 30? Only 30 match days in. That's crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. But it was a pretty fun midweek match day to kind of keep on while we were working and watching the background. And
you want to talk about the Merseyside derby? Go ahead.
I mean, what can you say? Nothing happened that we didn't expect. You know what I mean? Like, we were gonna beat Everton.
Fair enough.
And we even gave them a free red card. That was like 100% a red card. Like, and I was like honestly trying not to be biased, but every time I watched, I was like, that's like obviously a red card, right? Like, what do you think, Stu? I want to know what you think, Stu.
I saw it. I mean, I don't know how do I put it? If I was Liverpool, I would be upset that way. Like, what? How is that not? You know, he was lucky to stay on, for sure.
Yeah, he left both feet, had cleats up, straight on the calf, followed through, and he got to the ball way before. Like, he didn't need to follow through. Like, he just did. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, even without the follow through, that's just a red card. But it's okay. We were gonna win, and it's nothing to be. We're acting like we've been there before. That's all right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But no, it was a pretty fun week.
As the resident Spurs fan here, shit time. We lost again. Cool. Whatever. Who cares? We're gonna win the Europa League, so that's all that matters.
Good for you. At least that we'll have the same amount of trophies this year.
I was gonna say, that's what I was saying. Look at us.
Well,
all right.
I will say that just real quick on the Tottenham and Chelsea game. I was pulling for Chelsea only because I don't like Manchester City, but that's the only reason why. Otherwise, I'm going for Tottenham. But sorry for this past weekend.
It happens. Okay. Well, with that, we have to do the table for the end of this and the table for the beginning. So why don't we just wrap it up, go to the table, and you just kick us off. Where are we at with the table after
I would love to. After the win, Liverpool, well, actually the top 7 teams got wins this past week. Not a lot of movement on top. So Liverpool are still number 1 with 73 points, a full 12 point clear of Arsenal, who are in the number 2 spot with 61 points. Nottingham Forest are in the number 3 spot, one of the best feel-good stories of the year. They have 57 points, 4 points behind Arsenal, I'm sorry. And in the number 3 spot, behind them is Chelsea, like we just talked about, with the win against Tottenham, stay in the number 4 spot, able to keep Manchester City out of a Champions League spot, but Manchester City are tickling the top 4 in the number 5 spot, and they do have a Europa League spot. If the season ended today, they have 51 points, but they cannot rest because Newcastle United is just 1 point behind them. They have 50 points in the number 6 spot, and we are all Newcastle United fans, hoping to see Manchester City slip out and have no European tournaments play next year. That would be crazy to see. Even just seeing them in the Europa League would be crazy. So,
when everybody in the Europa League be like, dude, come on. Like, don't stop.
Right.
Just don't. Like, all the other teams are like, shut up. Get out of here.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But anyway, looking at the bottom of the table, you'll find the same three teams that just entered the league. 18th spot is owned by Ipswich Town. They have 20 points, even though they did get a win. Stay in that relegation zone because there is a 9-point difference between them and Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are outside of the relegation zone. Wolverhampton have 29 points, in case you're wondering, but they're in the 17th spot. Ipswich is 9 points clearer of them with 20 points. 19th spot is owned by Leicester City, who have 17 points on at least a 6-game lose streak. Absolutely terrible, and they are doing bad, doing their best to stay at the bottom. And then Southampton, as you can see, they got their badge back. They have 10 points in the double digits with the draw that they just had with
right there.
with Crystal Palace. And they earned their badge back, and it's probably just out of mercy at this point. But they have 10 points, doing absolutely terrible. They have a negative 49 goal differential, which is insane. And they're I don't know when they can be confirmed relegated, but it's got to be pretty soon for sure, right? There's 19 points
to Wolverhampton, and
there's got to be 6-7 games. And there's 8 games, So in 2 games, they'll probably be guaranteed relegated.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. But anything you want to call out, Snooze, on this? I know we kind of
it's earlier, pretty boring. I mean, in a good way for you, right? Liverpool definitely won the league, and Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton have definitely got relegated. So really, we're just looking forward to that 3, 4, 5 finish, right? And then of course 6, 7, depending on who wins the Champions League, who wins the Europa League. Like, it could push the European qualifications all the way down to 8. I mean, depending on who wins them. So those will be pretty interesting. But that's about it. Those are the only ones that are interesting right now.
That's true.
True. Oh, I forgot. We're not done yet. I have to talk about the matches that are coming up. Professional here. Let me go over to them. So that's your match day 31 schedule right there. And let's dig into a few of these matches, Vic. And it all kicks off on Saturday when Everton get Arsenal at Goodison Park. And as they're still looking for their first win in 5 matches, I guess is the best way I'll put that right there. Their 2-1 win over Palace back on February 15th was their last win for Everton. February 15th. Arsenal come in off back-to-back wins as they aim to catch Liverpool. I'm just playing. It's not going to happen. Ipswich will look to cut the gap between themselves and Wolves to 6 when they get Wolves at home. And this is a 6-pointer, but way less pressure for Wolves to get anything more than a draw here. We'll see how it plays out, though. But that is one that is, I mean, we talk about games that are interesting still. Ipswich are right below Wolves, but I mean, there's such a big gap that, technically they're right there. Yeah. Crystal Palace welcome Brighton to Selhurst Park, and both teams come in looking to dust themselves off after Palace drew with Southampton inexplicably. You know what I'm trying to say? Inexplicably. It's a tough word. Yeah. And Brighton lost 3-0 to Villa, getting leapfrogged in the table in the process. And West Ham are still sitting in 16th as they get Bournemouth at home. And Bournemouth may be sitting mid-table, but they've lost 4 of their last 5 matches and have drawn. And they drew that 5th match, so it's not like they've won in the past 5. Not looking good for them. West Ham aren't good either, though. Aston Villa get Nottingham Forest at Villa Park, and we'll talk more about this one in a second. On Sunday, Spurs get Southampton at home, and this has been a terrible year for both teams, honestly. But in the reverse fixture, Spurs beat Southampton 5-0 on the road. So I can only imagine that they get 3 points here. And if they don't, good Lord, that won't be fun. A mid-table Brentford side take on Chelsea, and Chelsea are in a fight for the European qualification spots for next season. And Brentford are mid-table. They're safe. They don't really have a lot to fight for. So we'll see how it plays out the rest of the way. Fulham get Liverpool at Craven Cottage. Yeah, Craven College. You know what? Let me give them their
Craven University.
I'm going to give Fulham their respect. Drink some water. Fulham get Liverpool at Craven Cottage, and the streaks are telling for this match. Fulham have lost 3 of their last 5, and Liverpool have won 4 straight. So I'm not sure I see them slipping up here. It's a Manchester derby, and this time it's at Old Trafford. City still have extra motivation to win this one as they just got themselves into the top 4 again. And I know anything can happen in derbies, but United are really bad right now. Sunday, relegation candidate Leicester get Newcastle at home, And Newcastle come in off back-to-back wins and are just a point off of City in fourth. But in this match, anything less than 3 points for them is not good because, as Vic was just telling us, Leicester are absolutely terrible this season. Okay, now I have like a whole paragraph written for Forest Villa. I'm almost as excited to watch this match as I am for the Barcelona Betis match, Vic. And there's a lot of different reasons. Mainly, Forest are nearly there, folks. They're right there. There are only 7 matches left, 6 after this one, and they are still in third place in the Premier League. They were 1 place from getting relegated last season, and they're in freaking third. And it is April 3rd right now. That's insane. Not only that, but they have a sizable gap, 6 points to City in fourth. So it's not like they're there by 1 point. They have 6 points between them and City right now. And it's 7 points between them and Newcastle in fifth. And all of those spots more than likely will be Champions League spots at the end of the season. So if you think about it, they could drop 7 points and still make it into the Champions League. 7 points in the next, 8 match days, 7 match days, whatever. And so, yeah, there's a big possibility that they make it into the Champions League next season, unless they just collapse. But this has been an incredible season for Forest, and they're so close to getting it done. And I'm pretty excited to see it because I know there's a lot of Forest supporters out there who would love to see their team get back. The only thing that this isn't in my notes, I just want to throw this caveat out there. The only thing that I hope doesn't happen, and maybe it doesn't happen to Premier League teams because they have much more money, they have much bigger squads, and they have enough capital to be able to fund these runs in Europe. But we've seen it happen with teams all over Europe this season, like Girona getting in, Bologna getting in, Stuttgart this season. Who else? We had even Heidenheim getting in. They all were like first time in forever, and they were freaking horrible. And some of them still are horrible to right now because they don't have the way to balance getting into Europe for the first time and the domestic league that they're in. So hopefully that doesn't happen to Forest is all I'm saying. I know I was on a rant there, but I still want it to happen to these guys. Okay, well, let's continue. And so that's what makes this match so much fun, Vic, is that Villa, for the mutual fan anyway, Villa are a very good team in their own right. And I think dropping points to a Villa team that are coming for your spot, that can't happen if you're going to make it into the Champions League, especially because we were just talking about it. City, Newcastle, and Chelsea, they're all sniffing right around them, and they can't be dropping. I mean, if they drop 3 points here, then, right, you're still, a 4-point gap? But, I mean, 4 points with 7 matches or 6 matches ago, that's a little scarier. So everyone's looking to cut that gap, and they just can't do it. And if you think about it, if we go on the other side, Villa, they're still in the Champions League right now, right? So they still have a spot to win the Champions League. I'm not going to say their odds. They probably have the lowest odds right now to win it. But either way, if they get 3 points here, they're officially back into it. And I don't know. It seems like a game that we should be hyping up a little bit more than what it is. And I know it's harder to hype these games up when they just played like today, yesterday, whatever.
Yeah.
But either way, man, both of these teams have so much to play for. Aston Villa are a great team. Forest are a great team. I'm just excited for it. I'm going to stop talking now. You tell me what you think of this match.
No, I'm excited for that one too. Like I said earlier, Nottingham Forest have been one of the best stories of the season. And it's good to seeing them do good. Like nobody's ever been like against Nottingham Forest. They're not like a Manchester United that have like a split fan base, and people just hate them. No, they're just they barely they almost got relegated last season. They're in the number 3 spot, about to go to the Champions League. Like that's an amazing story. And I'm looking forward to that one. I'm also looking forward to the Manchester Derby, only to make sure that it is a 0-0 draw and that Newcastle win and then get Manchester City out of the European.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, wait, why would you care? But
I just want to make sure it's a draw, a 0-0 draw. I don't want nobody to do anything, just nothing. Just go out there and get cardio. That's all I want them to do. And I want Newcastle to get a win. Newcastle is playing Leicester, right? It was Leicester. So they're in prime shape to get to leapfrog Manchester City, and that's what I'm hoping for this weekend. And of course, a Liverpool win, but I'm
just excited that Spurs could actually get 3 points. Like that would be really cool if we could just do that real quick.
you do it, dudes.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it, Vic. Take us home.
All right, everyone. I appreciate you guys for spending some time with us to talk about some European football. You put on the tunes with me. Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, baby.
Put on Pontoons with me. Yeah. And please follow us on all of our social medias. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for X, as you see it go down that way, except for TikTok. I think they're still going to be open. The deadline is April 5th for it to be sold. I don't know. We're going to do it if that's going to happen. But we do love interacting with you guys more. We're going to try to do it more. We're going to try to post them more on social medias. Please comment down below. Comment on all our stuff. We love talking to you guys. And everyone, enjoy the football. We will talk to y'all soon next week. Peace out.
Peace.